Are you noticed now in Alaska? Are you like one of the more famous people there?
I mean, Alaska
other than
is,
Sarah Palin?
There's four of you.
Yeah.
Parker Schnabel has always been a risk taker. Starting as a teenager on Gold Rush, he's pulled out 63,000 ounces of gold, worth almost $100 million. But his success hasn't come easy. Now, as he pushes for an ambitious $25 million haul, his entire operation is on the line. Unexpected problems, massive debt, and ticking deadlines put him at the brink. With so much at stake, could this season be his last? Let's get into it. The man behind the mine. Parker Schnabel is one of reality TV's biggest stars, known for his grit and skill on Gold Rush. Mining isn't just a job for him, it's in his blood. Born into a family with deep mining roots, Parker's carved his own path to success. What's surprising? Parker isn't even 30. Born on July 22, 1994. He's only 29, but has already made a name in one of the world's toughest industries. He first started working at his family's big nugget mine in Alaska as a teenager. At 6 feet tall, with a rugged, no-nonsense attitude, he's the real deal, both on-screen and off. Parker's journey took a bold turn early on. Instead of using his college fund for school, he bet it all on gold mining. He knew his passion didn't lie in classrooms. It was in the dirt and rocks. He invested every penny into his own operation, diving headfirst into the Yukon. "My mom hated that I skipped college," Parker admitted, "but I met Tony Beats and couldn't stay away from mining. It was risky, but it paid off big time." From a young, ambitious miner to a true gold mogul, Parker's journey has been remarkable. His determination and business smarts turned him into a millionaire in record time, winning him fans worldwide. Though Gold Rush shows his mining struggles, Parker keeps his private life low-key. He's single and doesn't reveal much about his dating life, leaving fans guessing. And here's a twist. While the show often highlights his humble background, Parker's now worth around $10 million. For someone who started young and took huge risks, it's quite the accomplishment. Most of his fortune comes from mining. By age 24, he had already mined $15 million in gold. His search for gold has taken him all over the world, from the Klondike to Guyana. And while his exact salary from Gold Rush is a mystery, it adds another layer to his wealth. Success, legacy. Gold mining might seem like an old-fashioned trade from the days of the Wild West, but it's very much alive today. One of the best ways to see it in action is by watching the Discovery Channel's hit show, Gold Rush. The series dives into the harsh, gritty life of modern gold miners as they chase their fortune. Most of the action unfolds in the freezing Yukon wilderness near Dawson City, Canada, where gold fever still thrives. And among the show's biggest stars is Parker Schnabel. Parker first appeared on Gold Rush when the show debuted in 2010. He was just a teenager back then and only popped up in a few episodes during the first season. But it wasn't long before he made a name for himself as a fan favorite. Unlike most miners, Parker is fierce and intense, with a reputation for having a fiery temper and a laser-sharp focus. Beneath his tough exterior, though, there's much more to Parker than meets the eye. Parker Schnabel's rise in gold mining has been nothing short of impressive. Over the years, he's struck it rich, with his net worth estimated at around $10 million as of 2020. But don't expect him to retire anytime soon. Instead of spending his fortune on luxury items like yachts or sports cars, Parker invests every dollar back into his mining operations. In an interview with Maxim, he joked that his sandbox is his biggest splurge, constantly upgrading his equipment to improve his yields. For Parker, the thrill of finding gold seems to mean more than the wealth itself. Mining, however, is far from a solo venture. Parker's crew plays a crucial role, and though their earnings aren't public, it's fair to assume they do well during successful seasons. But beyond profit, Parker is working to uphold a legacy that runs in his family. Beginning with his grandfather, John Schnabel. Known as a wise and kind figure on Gold Rush, in its early seasons, John operated the Big Nugget mine in Alaska, where he taught Parker valuable lessons about both mining and life. John passed away peacefully in 2016 at the age of 96, and Parker shared his deep appreciation for the support fans showed, cherishing how the world got to know his grandfather. After John stepped back in Season 2, Parker took on the family operation himself. It was a huge responsibility for someone so young, but Parker was determined to go beyond simply maintaining the mine. With updated technology, a skilled team, and relentless effort, he transformed Big Nugget Mine into a thriving success. The big choice. Being in charge isn't easy, especially in a high-stakes field like gold mining. Parker has faced more than a few scary moments, from dodging bullets fired by hostile locals to encountering wild animals in the unforgiving wilderness. The dangers of this job go way beyond just the quest for gold. Unpredictable weather, rough terrain, and the relentless pressure to keep hitting gold deposits all add to the risks. Yet, despite everything, Parker shows no sign of stopping. Parker's journey might have gone differently if not for his grandfather, John Schnabel, who set up a college fund for him when he was born in 1994. John had built a solid nest egg through mining, ensuring Parker wouldn't need to worry about covering tuition if he wanted to pursue higher education. But Parker had his own ideas. When John stepped back and handed him the reins, Parker faced a defining choice. He could go to college like his friends, or he could bet it all on mining and take his chances with gold. True to his ambitious spirit, Parker chose mining, sinking every dollar of that college fund into new equipment and supplies, prepared to dig his future out of the earth rather than learn it from a textbook. For Parker, mining isn't just about striking it rich. It's about creating something meaningful, just like his grandfather did. His gamble started paying off early. In Season 2 of Gold Rush, Parker and his crew unearthed 34 ounces of gold, worth about $55,000. It wasn't a life-changing sum, but it proved Parker had made the right choice. From that point forward, mining became more than a job. It became his life's calling. When most people think of gold mining, they imagine unearthing massive gold nuggets. But for Parker, it's a bit different. In a 2017 Facebook Live Q&A, Parker answered fans' questions, sharing a few surprises. When asked about the largest nugget he'd ever found, Parker said it was only about a quarter ounce, worth around $1,400. Although it sounds small, nuggets of that size are actually rare where Parker mines. Back in the 1980s, when his grandfather was working in Haines, Alaska, 3 or 4 ounce nuggets were more common. Times have changed, but even without large nuggets, Parker still digs up impressive amounts of gold. Mining hasn't always been an easy journey for Parker. One of his toughest experiences came while filming Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, a spin-off that followed him and his team retracing the Klondike Trail. Familiar faces joined him, like Rick Ness and Carla Ann, but cameraman James Lavelle also came along. Parker and James had worked together for years, but this trek put a serious strain on their relationship. In an interview with Inquisitor, Parker admitted that he and James clashed frequently, with their personalities just not meshing well during the intense trip. The constant disagreements created lasting tension between them. Even after filming ended, their friendship didn't quite recover, and Parker has mentioned that some things James did on the trail left him frustrated and disappointed. Drama seems to follow Parker, partly thanks to his intense, quick-tempered nature. Known for his fiery personality, he's no stranger to conflicts, especially given the grueling conditions of mining. But Parker accepts these challenges as part of the job. He knows that in the high-stakes world of gold mining, not every relationship will last. Still, he pushes forward, focused on his goals and the legacy he's building. Through it all, Parker holds close to the memories that truly matter. especially those of his grandfather, John. In that same Facebook Live Q&A, when asked about his favorite memory, Parker didn't hesitate. It was the time he spent learning from John, who taught him not only about mining but also about life. Those early seasons of Gold Rush captured their unique bond, making John's passing in 2016 all the more poignant for fans and Parker alike. Balancing relationships has always been a struggle for Parker. In an interview with Distractify, he admitted that many of his old friends have drifted away. Mining demands nearly all his time and energy, leaving little room for maintaining friendships. But his grandfather's influence still runs deep. John's guidance continues to shape Parker's path, reminding him of the values he learned from his mentor and closest friend, Parker and Ashley. Parker's life has been all about mining, but his love life has drawn plenty of attention too. One relationship, in particular, caught fans' eyes. His time with Australian veterinarian Ashley Yule. They met in 2016 and hit it off almost instantly. Soon after, Ashley joined Parker in Alaska, diving headfirst into the rugged life of Gold Rush during Season 8. Ashley wasn't just a spectator. She became part of the crew, lending a hand at camp and working alongside Parker. Her presence revealed a softer side of him that fans hadn't seen before, adding a light-hearted vibe to the often intense gold mining scenes. But by Season 9, Ashley was gone, and it became clear they'd parted ways. In a 2018 episode titled Win Big or Die Trying, Parker reflected on the breakup, acknowledging that he hadn't prioritized their relationship. He admitted that mining had always taken center stage, leaving little room for anything else. Ashley deserves a lot better than that, he said, in a rare show of vulnerability. While Ashley brought fun and warmth into his world, Parker's intense focus on mining ultimately came between them, showing just how deeply his work drives him. After his split from Ashley, Parker's romantic life became somewhat of a mystery. Despite his fame, Parker has always kept his private life under wraps, which only fueled fan curiosity. Then came Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, a spin-off that followed Parker on mining adventures across the globe. In Season 4, he headed to Australia and teamed up with Tyler Mahoney, an experienced Aussie gold miner and star of Aussie Gold Hunters. Both Parker and Tyler grew up in mining families, so they made a natural team, tackling the challenges of gold hunting in the rugged outback, from searing heat to snake-filled terrain. Their on-screen chemistry quickly got fans talking, sparking rumors that there might be more than just gold mining between them. With their shared passion for the trade and a solid on-screen dynamic, viewers hoped Parker had perhaps found a new love interest in Tyler. However, as the season played out, it became clear that their bond was strictly professional. Tyler even took to Instagram to clarify that there was no romance and that they were simply friends and business partners. For Parker, it was all about the gold. No new romance on the horizon. Fans are left to wonder if Parker will ever settle down, but at 29, he still has time to find the right person. Mining, however, has always been his main focus, and the unpredictable demands of the trade seem to keep romance on the back burner for now. The Wolf Cut. This was especially true with the Wolf Cut, a high-risk mining area that Parker hoped would transform his operation. He poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into this Alaskan claim, seeing promising signs early on with 108 ounces of gold recovered from leftover tailings. But the real treasure, the untouched virgin ground, was buried deep, rumored to hold over 2,000 ounces of gold, a potential payday of more than $3 million. For Parker, the Wolf Cut was more than just another dig. It was a career-defining chance, and after 2 months of intense work to reach the pay layer, everything was riding on it. Then, disaster struck. Just as they were about to reach the gold, a massive flood hit, turning the cut into a lake and threatening to undo months of grueling effort. For Parker, The sight of the floodwater was gut-wrenching. He knew better than anyone that nature doesn't care about ambition or investment. If she decides to reclaim the ground, she will. Desperate to save the operation, Parker and his team worked tirelessly to fight back. Pumps ran non-stop, draining millions of gallons of water in a round-the-clock battle. They managed to keep 3 pumps running, removing 10 million gallons in 24 hours, but water continued to pour in. The culprit was a hidden mine shaft they'd hit while digging, unleashing a constant flow. Parker had seen his fair share of tough breaks, but this was on another level. It felt like their efforts were being drowned. It was a critical make-or-break moment. Without a solution, they'd risk losing the entire season. The crew worked tirelessly, battling the flood by clearing out thick, waterlogged muck and frantically building barriers. But time was slipping away, and Parker knew that giving up on the wolf cut could spell disaster. He had invested everything in this one site. Walking away wasn't an option. Success here was essential not only for this season's profits, but for the future of his entire operation. The flood wasn't just a setback. It was a jarring reminder of how quickly everything could fall apart. When Parker finally returned to the site after a brief absence, he was greeted by a muddy, flooded mess instead of the clean, pay dirt he'd hoped to see. It was a gut-wrenching moment, testing his patience and leadership like never before. But Parker was resolute. With just 4 feet of muck between them and potentially life-changing gold, he knew they couldn't quit. As the mud dried and the floodwaters receded, Parker set his sights on what lay ahead. The stakes were even higher for the upcoming season, and the pressure was mounting. Season 15 of Gold Rush promised some of the highest gold prices yet, with a staggering $40 million in pay dirt waiting in the Yukon. This season wasn't just about profits for Parker, it was about securing his operation's survival. His Dominion Creek claim, holding an estimated $200 million in gold, had just 6 years left on its license. The clock was ticking. Now, Parker faced the daunting goal of a record-breaking 10,000-ounce season, worth an estimated $25 million. But debt loomed heavily over his operation, leaving almost no margin for error. One wrong move or unforeseen setback could bring it all crashing down. For someone whose mined over 63,000 ounces of gold valued at nearly $98 million, the idea of losing it all was hard to swallow. Season 15 of Gold Rush is shaping up to be anything but smooth. Early teasers hint at big trouble for one miner whose struggles could risk everything they've fought for. As Parker's journey continues, viewers will witness him navigating not only the earth beneath him, but also the intense pressure that comes with high-stakes mining. With so much on the line, he'll have to make split-second calls, weigh risks carefully, and count on both his strategy and a bit of luck. Mining has always tested resilience, and Parker's journey is a testament to that. Despite the crushing setbacks, his drive remains unbreakable. The mud, floods, and unpredictable Yukon terrain haven't stopped him yet. For Parker, it's more than just about striking gold. It's about the challenge, the thrill, and the satisfaction of turning dirt into treasure. Mining is in his blood, and he keeps coming back season after season, drawn to the rush that only this pursuit brings. As the latest season unfolds, fans will be eager to see if Parker can finally reach his most ambitious goal, or if the Yukon's unforgiving landscape will claim victory. With huge investments, unforeseen hurdles, and financial ruin looming, Parker's story is far from finished. In the cutthroat world of Gold Rush, success is never a sure thing. For Parker Schnabel, the choice is clear. It's either all or nothing, and he's more than ready to risk it all once again.